Yeah, and we just got it all painted. So this is gonna be the Jaxxon house. What we're building here is a Jaxxon house. And the goal here is to build kind of like a home for you, the creatives, the athletes, the celebrities, the content creators, the people that are like part of the family to come here, create content, build content. You know, there's gonna be a podcast studio, there's gonna be a movie room, there's gonna be food, a little chef, hibachi guy, Wagyu Wednesdays, Friday nights, turn up, UFC gym. On Saturdays, we just got the whole place, we're repainting it, we're getting Wi-Fi right now. Back at, look at my MacGuffin. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I'm thinking right here like a full wall, security entrance, showroom, conference room, offices, private chef. I'm thinking like a dude with sharp knives, cutting onions. Right here is like a whole little like hangout nook area. You could pull up your iPad, call MTV, hey, like I got another idea. Let's do a 19th show that we're doing. Like right there. Huge wall right here. Like the city of Troy. Just unbeatable, unbearable, unbreakable wall. Boom, right here. First official Travis Mills, Jaxxon collab tee, limited edition. Hey, this is actually the first shoot we've ever even done. We haven't even put a paint yet. We got the little giant ladder, shout out to the little giant ladder. We don't even have paint yet. We figured out how to do a shoot in here. This is the new Jaxxon house. This is the new energy going into 2023. Bigger and better things, more product, more quality. Forever classic, forever timeless. Jaxxon, we here. Come a long way. Shout out to everybody out there holding it down for Jaxxon, supporting the movement, supporting the brand, supporting me, supporting the people around the brand. You can't make this up, you know what I mean? This is crazy. Like, regardless of all the craziness and the funniness, like, to move into a spot this big, to kind of build the brand to what it is right now and to where it started, it's like, this is what it's all about. This is what dreams are made of, and it comes from somewhat, you know, being humble and sense of working hard every day and trying to just be better and not try to be too full of yourself. And on the other hand, it comes to that point of being like, yo, we want to be different, we want to be big, we want to be better, and we want to support the people that wear our product and instill that level of confidence we know that Jaxxon does for everybody that wears it. But this is the new Jaxxon house.
Feeling emotional, huh? Keep it humble, but at the same time, kind of flaunt.
All right, we're back at the Jaxxon house. Today is a big day. Myself, my partner Josh, his wife Julia, they actually started this thing. They're the ones who brought me on board in 2020. We're about to do a whole walkthrough of the studio and the office for the new Jaxxon house and kind of get a vibe for where we're putting the studio, where we're putting the employees, where we're putting the creatives.
Tip of the hat.
Kind of the sauna, the flow of the building. If you're trying to build an office,
Tip of the shades.
Your fantasy factory, your command center, it's always about the flow, the energy, and how you're gonna kind of get everybody to participate in that in a good, healthy way. So you definitely want to make sure you have a vision for where everything's gonna be going on. So when it is a circus, it's a little bit of a controlled circus.
He has all the moves,
Josh,
man.
founder and CEO of Jaxxon, here with my beautiful wife Julia. We started in downtown LA in 2018 out of a shoebox, and now we're here. It's been such a blessing. It means everything for us.
Now I'm wearing this shirt.
With family and friends. It's been
No, she's wearing this jacket. Like, it's always dress up in the Jaxxon house, you know what I mean? You come with your clothes, but you leave a whole new person.
Soul of the brand and the
Completely
hub
rad.
Our team members, and gonna be really the place where we build our family.
Yeah, it's been a crazy ride, a fun adventure, and we're super excited to open this new office.
Every guest is also like a wigger, like whether you're black guy, white guy, old guy, like an iced out bracelet on Chevy Chase, you know, you become a wigger, like you have no choice, you know what I mean?
When we go through this, I think like the main portion is like to make sure that what we have here is everything we need for the content creators, the athletes to come in here and kind of have their own little home. Because at the
This guy, bro, huh? Rumpelstilzchen. Let's guess his height. I say 5'7". Like he's smaller than the chick. It looks like she's standing furthest away, and she's still the tallest. Our host Bear, he's the closest to us. Either she's a big woman or he might be perpendicularly challenged.
The Jaxxon house, they gotta feel like wanted. So they come in here, it's kind of like a private gate. They can chill, chop it up, eat.
Bear said, full glass. He wants it so cold that you could see the drops dripping off of the diet sodas.
Shout out to the boys.
Blow this out, right?
Yeah.
How we were talking, having this be just a full
This guy Bear, bro.
podcast, have the whole crew be able to
Staying hydrated.
sit down and watch it.
Doesn't have anything to do with
Jaxxon
pupils
podcast
being
going
completely
crazy. We're already like 10
dilated.
episodes deep.
Him tweaking at this point.
10 million views. Not
He has
bad.
tweaker
It's on
mannerisms.
TikTok, it's on Instagram, it's on Facebook.
Tip
It's
of
gonna
the
be on
hat.
YouTube, full format videos, full format like audio on Spotify. So it's gonna be a whole vision, kind of like a whole new growth for Jaxxon.
I'm
going into
assuming he has
2024.
Although we have a section that's fully blocked off from the
Also, I imagine him just walking into the wall, like styling and profiling. But also, like, his mannerisms seem to have been lent,
Jaxxon is like a fully
borrowed
vertical system when it comes to media and content. Like we produce all of our own content in-house. We produce
by his
media.
black
When it
playpen
comes to ads,
friends.
shoots,
You know
and
that his
unlike most
daddy might
companies
have
that farm everything out,
bought
they don't
him when he
really
was
have any
young.
substance or culture. You know, they kind of lose track of what their brand identity
I'm only
is.
making
With
this
us, we're
video
so
because the
hands-on
dude is
as a team,
annoying me in the
and we're so
podcast. Like, I
personally
like the
touching every
podcast,
single piece of content and ad and creative that this is going to allow us to double the output.
but since we can't, like, boycott the motherfucker since he's the fucking,
outside to come in, one of the things we're most excited about in this space
he's the
is our
booster,
ability to proof of concept retail,
you know?
right? We've been really excited about the
If you
opportunity
support
to
the
open up our own retail location,
the athlete, I guess you gotta support the sponsor.
and this location is not only going to give us the ability to expand our team, expand our content,
This is basically my
build out
not so silent
an amazing
protest.
experience for all of our athletes, but also to kind of bring
Can you
the
tell,
fans,
like,
the customers,
billionaires
this
to
place as a
reel it in?
way to touch and feel Jaxxon and
Stop acting up.
huge pop-up events with thousands of people waiting
On first
outside,
glance, he
handing out
might
chugs,
seem like a nice guy,
for us before we
well-intentioned,
start expanding
just
stores.
happens to be
Even the fits that we
extremely
have our
wealthy.
models wear in our shoots,
You know what I
think
mean?
that, you know, we got to give a lot of credit to
That
Jules
shouldn't be
on
a
that in terms of
negative.
styling them and making sure that feel's always there. I feel like this gives you a lot
How
of
come Rampage always mentions his wealth when drunk? Or not drunk?
But we do have a vision for
What makes us so special is we are a family, like most brands claim to be, but they don't really have that connection. And with us, like,
I'm really watching this right now.
we work together every day.
Let's get on with it, right? Like, I'm trying to make this a best of Bear. You know? Since he's such a individual. Since he's so different and all. You know what I mean? Since he's so entrepreneurial. You know? Since he's getting shit done. We kind of get the vibe, you know what I mean? The Rotolo brothers. Like, doesn't Bear seem like a guy that, you know, just recently packed on a lot of that muscle? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he's on decade-long regiment. I don't know. But the motherfucker sounds like Chris Cyborg. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Seems just like not necessarily naturally alpha or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, man. He looks like he works out. He sounds like it. His voice kind of sounds like he hits the gym. He had figured getting Rampage on board of the Jaxxon extravaganza. You know what I mean? Just happens to be his name also, Rampage Jaxxon. So hey, what a inky dink.
Rampage, right now, explain what is your toughest fight in the MMA? What was your toughest fight you ever fought in MMA and why?
My toughest fight, besides the ones I got my ass kicked at, was when I fought Dan Henderson. That was a really tough fight, and I think the reason why the fight was so tough is because my longtime team partner and trainer.
I like to believe that the dog is a prop. You know, that's not Rampy's dog. Hold this. That will look lit.
Partner Mayhem Miller went to go train with Dan Henderson. And so Dan Henderson like knew myself, but I used to help Dan Henderson train too. So we've known each other for years. You know, we was cool. But that fight meant the world to me because that's the night I made history. Even though the UFC don't really talk about it, that's the night that I won I'm the first person to unify the belts. And I don't know when UFC and Pride, you know, saying was going head to head, and people wanted to see who was the number one champion. And so Dan Henderson had the belt in my weight class, and he had the belt in Anderson Silva's weight class. And I beat Dan Henderson. It was a real tough fight. With the decision, my knuckles hurt because he kept ducking his head.
You know, I have a theory. It's not even a theory. It's like a observation. You know, Generation Z. What does the Z stand for? I don't even know things like that. Maybe anyway, I venture to say it stands for zone out. Kind of created a knack for that, picking up on the zone out, and it's not that hard, you know what I mean? Talking to someone and you can kind of see in their eyes if they're listening or not. But this guy Bear, right? Like, he tries his best while the podcast is going on. He has a zone out, like the questions also he asked. It's because he zones out, you know what I mean? He loses track of what the conversation is or whatever. He looks in his laptop, on his phone. I understand, like, he must have done some prep, written it down or whatever. It's looking at that shit every once in a while. And he's obviously in charge of keeping things going, but he seems distracted, and it's in the eyes. I wonder if he does some kind of uppers, you know what I mean? Maybe that's just the personality of someone who's busy. He's a businessman. He has things on his mind. He never looks settled. Spiritually.
And I kept hitting him on top of his head. Like, the worst place to hit somebody is like around this area right here because your head is so hard. And I think he like bruised some ligaments in my hand. And that was like a 5-round fight.
Did you break your hand?
No, I didn't break my hand, but the ligaments was messed up for years.
Could you still clinch and?
Yeah, I can still clinch.
hurt,
I just kept fighting. I felt it, but I just kept fighting, and it was tough. You had to mentally get through it. And Dan Henderson, he was crafty. He was really good on the ground. And Dan Henderson actually hits really hard for a person his size. And and
Mayhem Miller went to train Dan Henderson during Dan Henderson's camp to fight you for the belt.
Yeah, and Mayhem was my friend, man. We was like brothers.
Why did he play you like that?
You know what? I don't know. I still think about that today, but one thing about the MMA community is it's a small community. Everybody know each other. So I didn't get too butthurt, but it actually worked out for me because Dan Henderson was doing what Mayhem does to beat me. You know what I'm saying? When we train, like Mayhem is better.
Like, Rampage is definitely one of the most butthurt fighters ever. He's legendary also for fighting pros. As funny as he is, he's also very butthurt. Very sensitive guy. Also, like, can tell, like, in his cadence, the way he talks, it's very goo goo gaga. You know what I mean? Like an overgrown boy. Anyway, your Bear doesn't do too bad here actually with Rampage. Seems like they have a rapport. And I don't know, I'm not really into like going into this podcast necessarily. He's actually like an annoyance in every podcast. Like, I kind of caught onto that early, just from observation standpoint. I don't even want to be around fighters, but I would think like you wouldn't kind of like bend the knee every 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, that was the feeling early. Now he's like started sparring. He's like kind of trying to interject into the whole fight, like in a sarcastic manner, trying to interject himself into the whole fighters rapport. You know what I mean? When Rampage and the guests are kind of bonding, and then Bear gotta get in there. And I guess that's kind of what's the movie, man? The wrestling movie, Channing Tatum or whatever. The fucking wrestling movie, Foxcatcher. Yeah, it's that thing, man. You know what I mean? A rich motherfucker able to kind of buy out a bunch of athletes, you know what I mean? Get associated, become a sponsor, become one of them. All of a sudden, he's training them. Like, he's wearing wrestling gear. Old man, creepo. Yeah, and then he shoots one of them. Like, that's not. I kind of actually. I kind of pitched that. The bare ways, you know what I mean? They can kind of encourage, like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Just getting too friendly with a motherfucker by like kissing ass too much. Like that's what I see with Mike Tyson, you know? People that are around him. Like Henry Cejudo, that whole Uncle Mike shit. Then it's like hard to switch up, you know what I mean? And then they become too friendly with a motherfucker and take chances. Now you're on the outs. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta be you, bro. It's not a fucking hustle anyway. It shouldn't be. Human interaction is just funny, bro. And then when it comes with, like, when you can get something out of someone, you know? Creepy shit. Yeah, but I'm not necessarily saying Bear is that guy, but he's giving off vibes. I'm just saying, you know, he has definitely trust fund tendencies. He has his ways. Alienating fans. And some in the comments are calling it hate farming, you know? Trying to up the engagement by triggering people, you know what I mean? But I feel like that's giving people too much credit. That motherfuckers are actually manufacturing their personas, you know, to that degree. I see that in a way, you know, but you almost have to be a little bit out there already, kind of put up a front in that way. Yeah, but sitting there and actually like pretending to be a buffoon to get people to hate you, so they comment and dislike and what? People start defending you in the comments, so there's a little bit more engagement. You know what I mean? Tactics. That's definitely a thing. People also use that like kind of as an alibi when they're just being dumb. So Bear might be doing that. Who knows? Tell me in the comments. You know what I mean? Like everything is a scheme. Guys, my community, and everyone also understands and is just willing to buy into that. This unspoken weirdness where you're building a community of strangers that abide by like community rules. You know, they want to socialize. That's all it is, really. And it's probably natural just to get into this whole hive mind, you know? And start building barriers. But it's all like under the pretense of community and like and hate, you know what I mean? Critique is hate. The likes are appreciated, the follows are appreciated, the shares are appreciated. You know, we want to build a community full of positivity. It's all salesman jibber jabber. You know what I mean? You shouldn't, I don't know, man. Something like that can only exist honestly, you know? If it's birth pure, you know what I mean? You can't pinpoint an origin. Like somehow something happened, and kind of like when people say thought is like transmittive. Like one person can think something in one place, and that thought process or whatever can catch on like a virus. The power of thought. I don't know what I'm trying to say. There's definitely a theory behind it that I'm not smart enough to really like convey right now, but we help it along, you know what I mean? It has to be nurtured. Can't be just something out of nothing. Like that's how we're supposed to exist, right? Something out of nothing just happened. How do I go there from all 3 stripes over here. That's also hard for me, you know, with that accent that I've been, cast with. Okay, we're gonna definitely move on from this. He gets a couple of views from Logan Paul, George Janko, and that's the vibe, you know. He's that Nelk boy, that thing, you know what I mean? Like, too old for Nelk boys. And he keeps saying shit like he doesn't remember shit he should remember. Like, the motherfucker is like 5 years younger than me. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't remember shit I clearly remember. What's going on there? 1 year after I was born, everything fell off. You know? That's convenient. Again. Convenient. Oh, he had Chito Vera on and interviewed him on his own. There's certain dudes also, yeah, that I kind of associate with the Jaxxon brand, and Chito Vera is one of them. Yeah, Chito Vera, he's so gangster, he's so cool, he's so don't give a fuck. Kind of like Masvidal. Why? Why? Because he curses? Because he learns English quickly? Nah, he's a tough guy and all, you know? Doesn't do shit and then knocks people out. Or he loses not doing shit. But it's something like that I would say, yeah, you're such a legend, Chito Vera, you know? We can kind of assume what the interview would be. What it would be. Dan Ige, bro. Like, he's way too Christian, bro. I'm sure Dan Ige's not coming back to the pod. To the pedad? Mac McClung. Basketball players, you know? Give him a Jaxxon tee. Oh yeah, that's a rough one. The Liddell interview. You got the Beetlejuice Mohawk. The crooked Beetlejuice he got. Yeah, I don't, like, barely. Like, he actually had fucking interviews with these niggas. So he definitely has connections. Like, we're not trying to disprove that, you know? We're not trying to put shade on it. Anderson Silva's 40-year-old son. Yeah, that's all good stuff, bro. When did this Rampage shit start, man? Oh yeah, Rampage again, whining about John Jones. Goodness gracious, yeah. I guess here, 9 months ago, the shit started. And they immediately got views with this shit, you know what I mean? And you can see, the Rampage shit is popping. Yeah, I didn't even pay attention to the views. Like, we're seeing the little clips and shit, like 6,000-7,000 in the hundreds, you know what I mean? Like, my dude is doing my numbers. Not really. The occasional shit. Oh yeah, see? Chuck Liddell reacts to Joe Rogan's story about him. Like, that's the creepiest shit to do, bro.
Like, it's hilarious.
See, there's a way that we watch this shit, like a Joe Rogan clip talking about something, especially like if you're younger, because definitely age out of it. But like, I wonder if fighters look at Joe Rogan talking about them in the same way as we do. You know what I mean? I understand we look at them as legends. They see Joe more as like someone, you know, at work. Now the fighters, like, that watched him their whole lives, and like, I doubt Chuck Liddell is gonna be super flattered by Joe. Like, these motherfuckers see him too often, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just Joe Rogan. Believe it or not, like, this whole JRE, that he's like this influential Johnny Carson-esque make or breaker, you know, of careers and in show business and fighters. Like, the whole influence on fighters thing, actually, that's a recent thing, man. That's all started with Ronda Rousey, you know, McGregor, that era. we watched JIE for him to discuss fighting. We watched the whole fucking podcast for him to like watch clips on YouTube of a hairless monkey and a bear climbing a tree, trying to eat hunters and shit. You know, that's interesting. Like him and Bill Burr watching like second studio early days type of deal. Joe just being a high guy, you know? His comments on fighting, we didn't take him as like an expert. Like to me, he was always the funny guy, the funny commentator guy that's allowed to be funny while commentating. That's what he was to me when Chuck Liddell and them was fighting, you know what I mean? Like that high clip where he's introducing in some TV segment from the UFC and he's doing like some hosting job in a talk show type of deal. And there's like George St. Pierre, Frankie Edgar, Chuck Liddell. They're sitting there and Joe Rogan has to introduce them and the cameraman is panning like to the wrong fighters while Joe is naming the wrong names, I guess. And Joe just looked very uncomfortable in that role. And it was a pretty viral clip for the 2010s, you know? Like Joe didn't necessarily, like he was funny. You know, that dude on the internet we know that also happens to smoke weed and also happens to, he's allowed to do UFC commentary. It's not like he's a asset necessarily. He might be because fucking Mike Goldberg wasn't. He really wasn't. Was able to talk about the ground game in a way that Mike Goldberg wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, he might not be a striking savant as far as expertise goes. Like, he did enough color, Joe, I mean, to make that interesting, you know, with the O's and he's hurt here and there. Ow! Yeah, but I think ground game, jiu-jitsu type of shit, that was the stuff he was good. And like on referencing like legends, he was good at kind of illustrating that he had some knowledge there, you know what I mean? Especially like to the casual, like he was perfect for that period, you know? Of introducing MMA to a more mainstream market. Now he's kind of played out. Now he's actually just a face, like he's a, I don't know, like the franchise face. He's Steve Francis. Yeah, he's more like a figure, like more than just a guy, you know what I mean? It's like Dr. Dre. Nobody going to Dr. Dre for beats. What am I saying here? Anyway, but what was my original fucking point? That's how I do, man. I lose my fucking point. But enough of my babble, bro. I'm sure I did have a point, but definitely gonna, like, let's, yeah. Ah, yeah, this shit, right? Like, how fighters view Joe Rogan. Probably not like a legend and all that, you know? Joe's a legend. He's 2 foot tall legend, bro. Come on, man. At some point, like, your height has to play into it. In the grade of legend we are willing to rate you as. Yeah, but you think Cain Velasquez gets all like flowery inside when he hears Joe Rogan talk about him in the YouTube short, all exaggerate? Like we heard that. I remember thinking about it like when Rory McDonald and fucking people were fight, like, you know what I mean, like Robbie Lawler, McDonald, that type of shit. And Joe in every fucking pre-fight promo hype up reel, like he's always doing the same shit. He has legit knockout power. He always says that. he has legit one punch knockout power. Like he says that. I feel like every man has that probably. Land on the right chin, you have legit one punch. Like you only have to have knocked one person out clean to have legit one punch knockout power to Joe Rogan. Never able to hurt anyone else. Dude was in a wheelchair anyway. You knocked him out clean. Legit one punch knockout power. Touch of death. Him too, bro. Like some people, they've competed, they've trained great fighters. Somehow, like you listen to them. The touch of death. Firas Sahabi. Where's your next George St. Pierre? Anyway. Yeah, let's listen to him, like, get all cringy.
Nice guy. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. If you met him on the street, he's the nicest guy. Super friendly. I saw his thing with, like, Undisputed or whatever the hell that show's called. With, yeah, he seemed like a nice guy anyway. Dude, I was at a club with Chuck Liddell way back in the day when Chuck was the UFC light heavyweight champ. And some guy had said something to one of his friends, and it was like some douche moment. Who knows what was going on? Just a bunch of silly people. Yeah. You know? And his buddies, everybody was meatheads. There's meatheads on both sides. And this guy came over and said,
One of Joe say, I don't know, some motherfucker just put out some shit and I didn't even know what it is. Can I sign a waiver? I'm gonna sign, give me sign a waiver. That was a fighting.
Chuck grinding his fucking gums, like in anticipation what this motherfucker's gonna unveil here. Like, is that something I want out there?
said something, and Chuck Liddell stood up, turned around, and looked at him, and this guy looked like he saw a fucking ghost. He looked into Chuck's eyes. He's like, there's a type of dude that you don't start fights with, right? Yeah. But
Okay, Bärsheilige.
Yeah. To this day, people fuck with that.
Do you remember that story?
I mean,
Barely anything, right? You remember that story he asked? He's trying to sell it to. What was it? Like, I was so caught up in watching fucking Chuck. What did he say? What did Jodis?
He gets on both sides. And this guy came over and said something, and Chuck Liddell stood up, turned around, and looked at him, and this guy looked like he saw a fucking ghost. He looked into Chuck's eyes. He's like, there's a type of dude that you don't start fights with, right? Yeah. But meanwhile, still people fuck with him. Yeah. To this day, people fuck with him.
Do you remember that story?
I mean, specifically, probably no.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not specifically, but yeah, that's happened.
Do people try to fight you in the streets or at
no,
bars?
No.
Right.
Like what he's saying is, somebody was messing with somebody. I got up.
Now he has to, like, indulge him. You know what I mean? Like, fuck out of here, bro. Gotta give you some made up. Like, maybe Joe made that shit up. Like, who knows, bro? Like, he's an actor too. Another Brian Callen. Like, the buff Brian Callen. We just take him serious. That's the only difference. Like, your friends also kind of gotta encourage that type of shit, right? Like, where you become a guru to them. Why doesn't just, like, I heard, like, Shane Gillis and Mark Norman are trying, like, Mark Norman, isn't he a cute little puppet? Tired of him. Yeah, but I heard, like, these motherfuckers are trying to, like, test Joe. Trying to test his alpha. And Joe, bro, like, it's funny, bro. It's way too late for that. You know what I mean? Now you have, like, 20-year-olds, like, hassling him. Like, fuck out of here with that, bro. Like, all these grown-ass, like, twice fucking Joe's size, like, scared of him. There's fucking audio of Patrice O'Neal talking. Like, they have to, like, kind of, I feel like comedians generally are complete pussies. Like, they try to always, and they always have been, you know what I mean? And that's okay. Like, you're supposed to make me laugh. Not, I shouldn't be looking at you like a role model I want to aspire to be like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, great in conversations, but he's gonna drink himself to death, like, or hang himself. Like, fuck out of here with that, bro. Like, I'm not aspiring to be a fucking comedian. Like, look at what I'm driving. Look at my fucking new haircut. Look at my fucking kicks. You know, kicks collection. I don't even know what shoes I have. I have so many. Like, that's not something men were bragging about just a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? We're just acting like this whole new shit. Like it's old. Like, can you believe? Like, I see reaction videos, niggas reacting to old comedy, and then they say this shit like it's a mantra, and motherfuckers keep repeating it. In place of laughing, they say, you wouldn't be able to get away with that nowadays. It's coping. It's a cleansing thing. Like, niggas self-soothe, you know what I mean? In stressful situations, start like pulling hair and shit. You know, scratching. Like, it's something like that. It's sad, actually, bro. Like, just enjoy. No one's looking. I'm looking. You're gonna get cancelled. See, but I lost my point again. Like, I go on tangents also. It happens, right? Yup. Where we going next? Where are we going next? With this shit. Like, I need a producer. Yeah, you were talking about. No, actually, niggas just need a chat, right? That's how they keep on track, maybe. I don't even want to build anything here. Just know, I don't want to like, I don't want to share, I don't want nothing of that, you know? Let's keep it incognito if you found me. This is our little secret. I'm not talking to a bunch of people neither. I'm talking to you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we can see in the views, like, yeah, I wanted to do something no one has ever done. 58 views. That's the channel, you know, that's the brand you want to attach yourself to. Like, it's not the other way around. Like, you know what I mean? Fucking used car salesman pitch. We're different and all. We're black. Like, if I didn't know, bro, I would think this is Nate Diaz's brand. Like, what's so different about you, bro? You dress your guests like it's fucking Trans Adventures with My Big Sisters. You don't know that show? Great show. It's an older show, since I'm older, as you can tell. You know? Something you don't understand. You don't need to understand. It's older, guys. Don't be so inquisitive. Yeah. I'm just checking, bro. I'm just checking. Like, 278. Like, this nigga won the slam dunk contest twice, right? Got robbed? Didn't get robbed? Yeah, I also started watching the NBA. It's almost seems societal. It almost seems like it's an epidemic. You know? It's not just boxing. Who wouldn't want to go back to the days of no holds barred? You know? According to Rampage, we're so anti UFC kid that we'd like to go back to Don't Fry winning the ultimate despite getting his mustache ripped off. What did it? Mustafa Hamsho. Great fighter. Beat by Rocky Gianni in the first round. Look it up. Don't look it up. What am I saying here? Please don't look it up. Who is that, bro? Aljamain Sterling just in 16-9. You know what I'm trying to say here. He looks like Michelangelo Sterling. Okay. Yes, Eric Nixick. Just greasing palms, rubbing shoulders. You know what I mean? We're just excursing. We're just having an excursion. When did this shit start? When it became 9 months and it became a fucking part. And that's when also, like, you know, we can pretty much pinpoint it. Rampage, Talks UFC, John Jones growing up. Where John Jones stepped on my toe. Where John Jones wouldn't cut his nails. That happened once to me, man. I was playing pickup ball. And I was younger. And one of the older dudes, like, he stopped the game. 5-on-5 full court. He stopped the game. He said he got scratched. And he started, like, inspecting all the players' nails. It was me. I forgot to cut my nails. It's kind of ghetto. Yeah, that would happen. You know what I mean? I mean, it still happens. Niggas do it on purpose in the NBA. I remember motherfuckers on the free throw line, or especially white dudes, looking all scratched up. You know what I mean? Also, like, you can see it in the game. Like, basketball players, they look like they have scars, but it's like scratches and marks from scratches, you know? Niggas do that. But I wasn't doing it on purpose, but it was kind of humiliating. Also, if you don't come out right away and he's, and he's going through the line of people, and it's clearly me, you know what I mean? But you're not trying to, like, that's childish, and some people keep these tendencies like their whole life, man. You know, not wanting, like, he's waiting till the motherfucker is in front of him. Like, I'm talking about myself right now. He's waiting until the motherfucker's in front of him to admit or to be found out. Like, he has to find out for himself. I'm not good. Like, no, that's not long. Usually I wait till they're longer. Yeah, anyway, man. Yeah, how did I get to that, bro? Like, what? That's crazy, man. I do too much. You probably still know. I don't. That's an issue, isn't it? Damn. Yeah, but are we really, like, the Jalen Turner thing? I feel like I can pinpoint which were busts, like complete busts, as in podcasts. Like, should I do a fucking best of Bear? I feel like we kind of already found out about him in this video that we're how many minutes in this motherfucker? I don't know. It's been a while, 50 minutes at least, right? So I might just bounce out and do another video. But fucking Bear, huh? I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not sure about him. That's all I'm saying, right? Like a hustler. He's definitely a hustler. If he's trust fundy, at least he has been like his dad has instilled like these values in him, right? That keep striving and all that. Like, he's not comfy. He's still doing what he needs to do. And I'm not mad at fucking Rampage for fucking, you know, that's a vehicle you wanna be part. That's the vehicle of the Jaxxon podcast is something you endorse and you wanna be endorsed by, right? Understandable. TJ Dillashaw. I think that's the best podcast, man, because motherfucking TJ, he will talk back. Actually, he will just talk sense, right? Like, he's not gonna encourage the Rampage, and they have a weird relationship. Like, Rampage is a weird guy too, you know? It's not like Rampage is not a weird guy. He's just, we're used to him more, you know? So I guess it works. So far it has, you know what I mean? Like I even talked about the whole engagement farming and all that, you know? Like, they're doing what they're doing, whether negative or positive. They're getting Rampage high before the podcast. Who thinks Rampage is gonna fight Shannon Briggs? I don't think so. I doubt it, right? You know that type of shit. Who thinks Nick Diaz is gonna fight this year? Same shit, right? Oh, Shannon, bro. Like, the fact that I have to worry now about Rampage and Shannon fighting when we couldn't even get Shannon to, like he couldn't get his ass in there with David Hay or get a fight going with David Hay. Like, everything was ready. That was the prime of Let's Go Champ. And this motherfucker failed the drug test against a bum. Like, it wasn't a bum, but a past his prime solid fighter. Like he was. You know what I mean? That was too much for him. Motherfucker was too steroided up. Lost his license. Got a ban. Like, people don't know that, bro. There's a reason Chan hasn't... Okay, there's more than one reason that Shannon hasn't fought. Like, also Shannon is always talked about that boxing to him is a side gig. You know, and I think Rampage, and he was actually pretty honest about it, you know what I mean? So whoever thought about Shannon like getting a big payday through all his antics, he definitely got paydays, but not like we wanted. Like, we wanted the conclusion of the antics, right? That wasn't gonna happen. And I feel like Rampage is probably in that stage of his career. Tying himself to this dude. Like, you always gotta think ahead, obviously. You know what I mean? That's smart to start a podcast and all that. There's not enough good ones, you know what I mean? We do have many. It's not like we have a drought in that regard, but these motherfuckers, as far as like consistently... Yeah, it is about consistency, because motherfuckers, it's all cool to be viral the first week of your shit, you know? Like, watch the MMA Roasted podcast. Like, that podcast over the last 10 years had so many like second renaissances, like some revival stages, you know what I mean? It had so many potentials and chances, but some people don't want to be successful. It's easier to be incognito and do your thing, and you know what I mean? Have a little fan base thing going that will support, not fucking completely finance you. It's about supporting. That leaves the chance to get cancelled. I think that's what people are really worried about. Like, every good podcast, or early on good, like BYM, Michael Bisping, when he was also active, that was a good listen, you know what I mean? But as soon as it becomes like a hustle, as soon as niggas start doing one-man shows and touring, as soon as it gets like just commercialized, monetized, that ugly aspect of any endeavor, it seems like. Like, remember when hot boxing with Mike Tyson was almost spiritual? They had something there, you know what I mean, with the old host Evan Britton. Then he joined Kevin Rooney and Jim Jacobs and Bill Caton and Cas Diamato and yeah, then he joined them in the Shadow Realm. Maybe we can look at one of the weirdness. It's so many. It's hard, like the cumulative effect will be much more severe. Like, if I like start like nitpicking any ugly or annoying bear moment, it could get kind of grating and tiresome, as he is. Yeah, but I'm probably gonna skip that. You know what I mean? I feel like you got my point. Can't stand the motherfucker. Be in touch with your feelings. Be in touch with yourself. Okay, I'm gonna be in touch with myself then. You know, be real with yourself, but also touch yourself. You know, get to know yourself. like a preteen. The schmo. That I never. Okay, that has to suck. That has to suck. Just let's just look into that amalgamation of phony. Let's see what happens.
All right, we are back with an emergency episode of the Jaxxon podcast. Luke Rockhold was in the Jaxxon house training.
Also, emergency podcast just means you don't deserve my time. Like active, low-key trending, like nigga, big knockout, fighters, these, that, skinhead. What's his name? I think he's a featherweight contender. Little Tank. Yeah, he was on he got a fucking emergency podcast. Yeah, he was complaining like, you niggas didn't even know you didn't see my knockout. Like, Rampage, what's up, bro? Like, yeah, it's basically just straight disrespect.
And the one and only Schmo dropped in. Schmo, how you doing?
The Schmo can't complain. Beautiful day, Southern California. We've been hearing legendary things about these friendly confines, and it's about time we walk through them.
He just walked right in, huh?
He walks in.
Did you schedule this, or he just found where you were?
You know,
I like how Bear is interesting. Like, he doesn't like when niggas go on him, like, as far as jokes. Like, he's not a... I don't know. Like, Ram is actually... He takes it well. Like, people complain about him not taking jokes well. Like, imagine a motherfucker. But it's also tied to, like, his leash, right? Like, who has his leash? Obviously, Bear, under the table. He's, like, yanking that shit. How you not gonna call me a fighter in front of the guest? But, like, the onus is immediately put on the most awkward nigga in the room, right? Like, Schmo just goes into his shtick mode, like, stigmata. It's not even stigmata. What is stigcoma? Yeah, stigmata immediately starts forming on his palms. The energy was immediately matched, like, by fucking Bear's phoniness, right? Like, the phony cringe character addresses the host. He says something in the same type of tone. Hey, are they related, or are they just both phony? And now, like, the earnest idiot, he has to pick up the slack. Get a dumber person on the mic than me. Like, that's like, his choices for co-hosts are interesting, to say the least. Like, they seem kind of specific.
I shared my location for
He just...
Legendary things about these friendly confines, and it's about time we walk through them. We've been hearing legendary things about these friendly...
Look at that guy, bro. The way he starts just staring off in space. I'm assuming that's where he gets the lines from. The spouting. But the fuck, you know what I mean? Just a sociopath. Like, I feel like for Helen Yee. But she might be also creepy, right? I always gotta worry about people, man. What the fuck?
friendly confines, and it's about time. In California, we've been hearing legendary things about these friendly confines.
It's not an easy gig. Like, that staring off in space, I feel like it's like him keeping up the persona.
Base, Southern California, we've been hearing legendary things about these friendly confines, and it's about time we walk through them.
He just walked right in, huh?
He walks in.
Did you
See, immediate deflection with the same tone. He just walked right in, huh? Character.
Or he just found where you were?
You know,
Did you...
About time we walk through them.
All the awkwardness was immediately... Like, that was interesting, huh? Like, Schmo felt like that, and transferred it to Bear. Who, like, hot potatoed it
He
to
just walked
Luke.
right in, huh?
he walks in.
All that fucking... Like him fucking grip walking in his chair. Like, that's... Okay, that could just be also Luke. Just being his normal awkward self. But I feel like that has a lot to do with the energy transfer that we just
It's about
witnessed.
time we walk through them.
Huh?
walked right in, huh?
Yeah, you.
Walks in.
Ugh.
Did you schedule this, or he just found where you were?
You know,
It's hard, he said. Like, you heard that? Like, that's when you don't have any intellect to kind of like cover shit. Like, he actually felt hot colds. He's a breakdancer. Fuck, it's hot. It's hot in here. Takes his shirt off, runs out.
I shared my location for a.
He just walked right in, huh?
He walks in.
Did you schedule this, or he just found where you were?
You know, I shared my location for 5 minutes, and Schmo popped in and fucking got the job done.
Shmo, I gotta know something. I've watched a lot of your content.
Solid.
You're enthusiastic at the same time. You're powerful with the mic. You know what you're doing. You demand respect when you walk into these gyms. Has there ever been a time where you've been fearful?
Fearful. The Schmo can't have fear. Because if the
Yeah, see, we just can have a phony interview. That's all. That's the only way this can go, right? Like, basically. What does that say about the real guy, though? He's not able to come in, just have an interview. Why? You're in character, bro. Keeping up kayfabe. Like, relax. Remember when Dana put him in his place? That's been 2 years ago, right? Like, motherfucker, shut the fuck up. Like, the dumbest question out of your fucking mouth. Are we done? Can I move on to someone credible? Fat guy. Who's got the first question? Fatso. I wish Dana was more direct and made them just like squirm and still like kind of kiss his ass. You know what I mean? Because that's what they would. Dana's just being nice. Doesn't have to. Curse and they will laugh. Oh, Uncle Dana's cursing again. Okay, I'm done with this, man. Drunk Punch, peace out. Bin raus.